What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the NightCap. I'm your host, Troy, and I'm back with the fellas. What's up, fellas?
What's good, Troy?
What up?
What's good?
Not much. We chilling on this night. How you guys feeling, man?
Man, I'm feeling good.
I know some of you know the routine. Cheers.
I gotta get my cup with it.
Cheers.
Hold on, wait, so
I only got my water right now. Yeah, I can go get the glass right
got
now.
that watermelon, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
You know. Big news. You know, James Harden just agreed to his contract with Philly. 2 years, $68.6 million with a player option. So basically a 1-1.
Yup.
that player.
I don't know what to make of it.
I'm still.
I don't know about the player option part. That's
the part that's kind of
the
like.
part that's got me.
No, the 2 years is what got me. I thought he was like part of the future, like trying to see, like this deal makes me feel like they're trying to see, like, yo, is this going to work? Like, I'm not giving this guy big money, 4-year, 5-year contract, and I don't even know if it's going to work. Like, that shows me like there's not full confidence in the team that James and Embiid can work down the road and in the next 5 years win the championship. He's giving them basically 2 years to get them there and win one, and then it's like, all right, we'll revisit your contract later, and I don't like that. It's like,
I thought it would be like 2+1 or something instead
like,
of 1-1. Like,
1 year is a little crazy.
It is a little. It's weird.
See,
but I mean,
but I'm trying to see because it's different if the team gave him or offered him just the 1-1. But I partially feel like he was the one that was kind of talking about a 1-1 in case next year, by the end of the year doesn't go as planned, and then he's like, all right, well, I got less money. I'll decline my option now and just go somewhere else and take less money anyway.
But the point of it was so that they can build a team so that they can make a championship type run.
But if they don't build that team for him.
Exactly. So what pieces are we thinking, like, who they're going to try to bring in to try to make that championship run? Because obviously Tobias Harris ain't the answer. Like, we know
100%.
that.
100%.
yeah, I thought he'd be gone. by now. But
By now I thought he would have been one of the earlier pieces of move, but it's like probably I don't think nobody really wants him.
Yeah, but I've
thing.
seen some trades that seemed reasonable for them to make, but I mean, maybe.
Well, Philly don't make reasonable trades.
Yep.
Stop playing. We made the James Harden trade. What?
That wasn't reasonable.
I was saying that wasn't really reasonable though.
It was pretty reasonable considering where we were at. I mean,
I'm not nah.
Yeah.
But I know you.
Considering where you guys were at, you guys were battling for top 4 positions, right? Like you guys were battling for top 4 positions when Embiid came back. Like,
right.
So when in a position where you traded for James Harden, it was basically just to move on from Ben Simmons, and you got the deal you ultimately wanted a year before that when James was still in Houston. But
right, which will make us better.
Like you gave up. I mean, you could say it made you guys better. You could say that you guys made it to the second round. The Nets, made it to the first. I get it.
It's not.
I get it. I get it, but I don't know. Giving up Steph was a key part too for you guys, and I think that's the part. That's the part that gets me.
Y'all might. I think y'all get past.
He ain't coming back. He resigned, didn't he?
If they didn't lose Andre,
did he resign? I think he's on a long deal. I do, yeah. I mean, it would have been nice to keep Drummond because in the playoffs when
in the playoffs we lost
bad.
Stuck with DeAndre.
Definitely.
Oh, word, thank you, Roddy. Appreciate it. Don't worry, I got YouTube open today.
It was nightmarish. It was bad,
but yeah, I mean, I don't know what to make of it.
Now we got PJ Tucker. He could play small ball 5.
Yeah, true. That's not a bad pickup. I do like
For
Tucker
Spurs.
signing.
For Spurs. Yeah, I loved the signing. Uh, needed a
I
guy
saw
like
that
that.
too. He made fun. He made a crack at LeBron because he lost
Oh
when he
yeah, I
hosted.
did see that.
When he
Yeah, he
hosts
lost when he
that.
hosted. So he was like, "I'm gonna make a crack at you, bro. You see, I won mine, and now I get to host it."
Grant Williams sitting over there, like trying hard not to laugh.
So I have a question.
Mm.
You know, I've been good with these questions lately, so I got a question for you, Professor Troy. I got to get my white coat. I got to get my white coat. Who wins a title first,
Oh.
KD or James Harden?
I have to say James Harden. I can't say KD. I have to say James
You
Harden.
don't have to say that, Nigel.
I kind of do. I kind of do.
You don't have to say that, Nigel.
If I'm being, well, I got to pick. I was gonna say like there's a very good chance neither of them win another one, but
Yeah,
if I
there's
have
a
to pick,
very
I'm gonna
good
pick
chance.
James. I'm gonna pick James. I'm gonna actually pick James. I'm gonna pick James.
I would say KD. If
100%.
oh
Staying
man,
on the Nets, you got MJ Warren, Kyrie back for one more year. Yeah, it's over for the league.
I
Oh,
mean,
that's
if
Sixers and
Brooklyn can get
six.
it
What?
together and
Nuggets and 0.
Yeah, I think KD. KD might.
No,
What?
I'm definitely going with KD. I mean,
Yeah.
James Harden them got a good chance, but it's too many. If KD stays on the Nets, and we look at the Nets roster and Philly's roster, which
I
team is
think
better?
the Nets got a better team
I was gonna say
currently.
I like the Nets better.
What's up, Mr. NBA? That's what I'm saying. So it's like for me,
Why?
that
Why
gives
do
them a
you think
better
I'm a better team?
chance with their pieces. If they can mesh them together, it gives them a better chance of winning the title. And remember,
Why do?
The Nets wasn't
I
that
don't know.
far away 2 years ago. No, one inch back from KD or something changes in overtime. He don't go 0 from 8, and he's in the Eastern Conference Finals on his way fighting for another Finals chip. So I mean, if the pendulum swings the opposite way, we'd be talking about KD in a different light. But I think if you look at what he has done, and 80, 90 games in the last 2 years, he's played 90 games total.
Mhm.
If you look at what he has done in those 2 seasons, taking his team to the first round, then being a first seed, getting injured, falling all the way down to the 7th seed or 10th seed, fighting back up to the 7th seed, getting into the play-in, winning the play-in for you, helping your team win the play-in, and then you get bounced to the first round. If you just look at what he has done in those 2 years, besides him like the losing in the playoffs, like he has put his team in a position to try to succeed. So if you put KD back on that team with the additions that they made, I think they're a good fucking team. I think
Yeah.
they definitely still up there in the East.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, if
and
you get
honestly, I think
Kyrie,
it depends on how Ben Simmons comes back and plays. If
And
he can
one
come
team
back
didn't
and
get better than me. The Bucks did
true,
not get better than me.
true.
not at all.
The
That's
Bucks did
that's
not
that's
get better to me. Like
I think they got
fair.
worse.
Boston made moves. Philly made a couple of moves. The Nets made some moves. Like those are the top 4 teams basically in the East right now. With the Heat, the Heat. I don't think the Heat made any key moves really either. But the Heat always figure it out with unnamed, undrafted players, stuff like that. So I'm not too worried about them. But the Bucks haven't really done anything. So I could definitely think if KD come back, them guys are right back in the same position in the playoffs, fighting for a chance to, probably try to win the title.
I don't know. I mean, they had James Harden when they were these
Yeah, but
title
they all were
seasons.
injured
That's
too.
kind
They
of
all
they
were
were
injured.
yeah for sure. But I mean, you saw it in the first round of last year when they played Boston. I mean, they looked unstoppable. Like they looked like nobody was about to beat them, and that was because of James Harden. But that was also because of KD and Kyrie. And they probably I don't know. They probably win the championship if a couple things go their way, like with the
I
injuries.
had to stop that win move.
But but with him gone, I don't think Ben Simmons. I don't know. I don't think Ben Simmons about to be the game changer that most people
I think he can.
think that.
Just
It
don't be just
depends on
stubborn
how
and go
you're
and talk
asking
about
him
it.
to.
I mean, I think he can do partially what he was asked to do in Philly, but without the having to be a main focal part of scoring at all on offense. If you just ask him to kind of, it doesn't even have to be all game really, because Kyrie can still be your point guard, and
Oh yeah,
bring
for
the ball
sure.
up, do that. But whenever Kyrie, if he's having a bad game, can't shoot, getting doubled a lot, whatnot, give Ben Simmons the ball, let him play, make, facilitate for the team. He can go facilitate for Kyrie and KD, and then you got TJ Warren there too now, so that's another scoring option for you. So that way you don't got to deal with what happened in Boston, where it's just kind of KD and Kyrie.
Bruce
And the
Brown
average
did
Especially
his
they're
thing,
definitely
but
deeper.
Bruce Brown was cool, but he was kind of a liability on offense until that playoffs part, and then he started getting points.
I don't know. TJ Warren, what? I haven't seen TJ Warren play in a minute, and I get like he's a good scorer and stuff, but I don't know if he'll come back to exactly like how he was looking probably 2 years ago,
Yeah,
like when
like
it was in
Bubble
the
TJ.
bubble. It'll
Yeah.
take him a minute,
Oh yeah.
that's for sure.
oh, Star with
Um,
the sub. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.
they still have Patty Mills, right? They still have
I
Patty Mills.
believe so.
Yeah, Patty
They
Mills
have
re-signed with him.
they have shooting. I mean, that's probably their strength. I mean, they got Tyree still, Patty Mills, Seth Curry, Joe Harris is probably going to come back from injury. They have that. I just don't know their defense. Like, they got Ben Simmons, but I don't know. I don't think he's like single handedly about to make them like some above average defense. Like he'll be good. He'll be good on defense for sure, but I don't know if he'll elevate them quite like people think because they're like a bad defense, and I don't know if he really takes a bad defense and makes them good enough to win a championship.
Oh,
So,
you went and got the glass. Cheers, my brother. Cheers, my
oh,
brother.
yeah, I think there's yeah. I think you could say the Sixers got
Mster.
uncertainties, but I think the Nets got more uncertainties than us. So
You saying the Nets have more uncertainties than I mean, I could
See,
I
I feel
mean the
like
way this
Philly's got
offseason
more.
is going, like I say
that also,
during the season, but right now you can say the Nets have more because they don't know
Yeah.
if Kyrie's gonna be there. You don't know because I did hear something like this morning about when KD called the owner and told him that he wanted to trade, he told him the reason, but the Nets are still not 100% sure why he asked for a trade out. And some are speculating that it's because he wants Kyrie gone. So you could say that there's a lot of uncertainty in the Nets locker room or the Nets front office, and it's not that right now for but the biggest uncertainty for the 76ers is when you get on the court. I love Joel Embiid. You guys know I bat to hell for Joel Embiid. He's the best big man in the league to me. When healthy, you feel me? But he just doesn't. He's not on the floor enough.
Yeah.
Like you can't
no,
be.
yeah,
He's
that's
never
the
going to be
obvious.
an
Yeah.
MVP if he's not on the floor enough. Like
Yeah.
even when he had it 2 years ago, he just wasn't on the floor enough for them to be like, all right, yeah, we can give it to him. So that's the only that's a big uncertainty for you guys. And then also with that now, it's like James Harden has been injured for the last 3 seasons.
For last, yeah.
He's been dealing with a nagging injury in his hamstring for like 3 years now. So it's like, how is that going to affect him going forward too? And then like to go back on his deal is like for him to sign a 1-and-1. That's concerning to me because it's like you guys already know how I feel about James Harden leaving, and I saw it. I don't know if Nigel saw it, but I saw what you said. Dream. You guys know how I feel about James Harden leaving and the way he left, and then 13 months from Houston to Philly. But he has something to show, man. Is he going to go down as one of those players that wins a championship, helps his team win a championship? He can never be the guy, as you guys, not you guys personally, but people love to say he will never be the guy that drove the bus winning his championship. Sadly, at this age, and I don't think that would be held against him. If James wins a championship, just like Carmelo. Carmelo was the win. If the Lakers were to win this year and not the Warriors, like the Lakers were healthy and they won, people would have celebrated Carmelo getting the ring.
Oh yeah.
It would have had an asterisk next to it because you would have had
then
the
they would've-
LeBron haters that would be like, oh, he needed LeBron to do it, blah blah blah. But people would have celebrated Carmelo winning one, just like if Dame, like later in his career, leaves and goes somewhere else, he gets one. People are going to celebrate him. But for like,
I mean, people were doing it with CP last year when they were in the finals. They wanted him to win just
yeah, because it's like because you want him to get one. You want to see him be a champion, and I get it.
Oh, yeah.
We all want to see the guys that we like be a champion, but certain teams aren't built to be champions, and that's just the truth of it. Like even when your team, like I was trying to explain this to G-Babe, like some teams like the Jazz, man, the Jazz are contenders. They're championship contenders. They contend for a championship every year, but they're just not built to win a championship. And I think that's the difference that people miss. It's not like that they're not contenders. They are contenders. They're in the same spot for the last 3 years. The Jazz has been somewhere in the top 4, top 5. Like they have been in the top echelons of the teams for a consistent period of time. So to say that they're not a contender, like that's not fair. But to say that they're not, championship built, no, I will 100% agree with that. They're not championship built.
Oh yeah. I mean, I feel like it really just depends on, if KD doesn't get traded, Kyrie doesn't get traded by the end of the season starts. If they all can, talk, get their chemistry together, actually play games together, Kyrie doesn't deal with his little off-court issues that he's always seemed to have in Brooklyn. And KD kind of gets everyone into that mentality of we just here to win. Like that's all he wants to do at this point because it's obvious KD just wants to win games. He wants to win a chip. Like that's KD. He doesn't do all the off-court things. So if they can all kind of get into that mindset of just win a chip, do whatever it takes, I mean, I'm pretty comfortable in what they have as a team and their skill to be able to do it. I think they can compete or beat any of those teams in the East.
I think they definitely improve their roster.
Oh yeah, they improved all those gaps that they had.
Troy, would you be surprised? Would you be surprised if the? Oh, okay. I was gonna say, would you be surprised if they came back next year, beat the Celtics? Would that No. Okay.
No. I wouldn't be surprised if we lose to the Bucks next year. No.
The Bucks, I get.
No, but I don't think the Bucks got better, so I don't see us losing to the Bucks. But I know Giannis is the best player in the league right now, and I know when you do have the best player in the league, it takes a joint effort like we seen this year by the Celtics to beat that team. So if we could come out with that hunger, because we're gonna come out with hunger, we lost, man. We're gonna come out. We want to get back there and prove ourselves. So. If I had a true person to be worried about, if this next team stay intact and if they do all the things they said they need to do with chemistry and build and play games, then they're a scary team in the East. And I said it this year and I'll say it this way. Again, any team you have KD and either James Harden or Kyrie, I've said before, it didn't matter which one of you had, that team is going to be in a conversation for a championship every year. Every year. There's arguably two top 5 players. James Harden is not that top 5 player anymore. I know that, but you could say this guy is a previous top 5 player, now probably top 15 or wherever you want to put him in the league, top 10. Wherever you want to rank James Harden right now as the skill that he has now, what you've seen in the last couple of years. But KD just wants to win, like you said. Did you guys see? Oh, I'll address Sports Cartel a little later. Trying to get him on the show. But did you guys see Valanciunas? He was on talk show and he was playing charades.
Yeah.
And he had to do LeBron and he did look crying and then he said
flopping. Yeah.
What did you guys think of that?
I mean, that's kind of always been the public view for LeBron. I mean, he's always been.
It's true.
Yeah, I'm saying he's always been known as kind of that flopping crybaby type, emotional at all times. That's LeBron.
Yeah, Valentine, he just spoke for half the NBA. He was just the one doing it.
He's bad.
But LeBron,
Go ahead, you can keep talking.
I mean, LeBron's just got that, he's the best in the league, or he used to be at least be the best in the league. So, he kind of gets that a little more than everyone else. He gets criticized where other
he gets.
But, I mean,
that's funny.
Don't let LeBron see it because.
Oh, he gonna dunk on him next year or something.
He said he gonna dunk on him next year.
Yeah, and then cry in his face.
Yeah, he might dunk, but he gonna lose the game.
Who you talking about?
LeBron.
Oh, I'm saying I'm saying LeBron.
He down bad right now.
No,
you
they
said
are.
LeBron down bad.
Yeah, he almost lost to a Drew League team.
Hey, I mean, he was just out there having fun. DeMar DeRozan was on that team too. Don't just act like it was LeBron.
Nah, but
LeBron,
because
he's still
hold on,
hooping.
because I had a question that I was thinking of. It was last night, matter of fact. Are you taking prime Anthony Davis? Or are you taking Joel Embiid right now?
Mm,
I don't want
Because skill set wise and whatnot, I don't think there's too much of a gap between them two in reality.
No, I agree. I agree with that.
But I mean, I
That's
think
it's
in all reality, I think if AD was fully healthy, he might be better than Joel Embiid. I think he might be better than Jokic and Embiid.
I did say
I don't think
I
right
could see an
now.
NBA. I did say I could see an NBA where Embiid is the best player in the league. I mean,
I don't
AD
know.
is the best player in the league.
Yeah, I could
Uh,
definitely see one where
I
AD
can
is
see a
the best.
league when he's definitely the best player in the league.
I don't know. I think the best player in the league stuff is probably passed for him. The injuries.
Yeah,
We don't even really know what because when he's on the court, he hasn't looked like you know the prime AD. He hasn't looked like peak AD. So I don't know if I can really say he'd be better than Jokic and Embiid, but he'll certainly be like in the top, top 10
yeah,
range.
yeah, for sure.
Maybe top 5. He
Yeah,
could break into there. Like he'll still be one of the best. But at his peak versus Embiid now, um, yeah, that is really close. I'm gonna probably say it. Yeah, I'm gonna probably say AD just because I'm high on his peak. I like what he was able to do.
I
But
think what he
Embiid is
does
like right there.
defensively is what sets him apart from Embiid,
yeah,
honestly.
Probably,
yeah. That's what
yeah,
I'm thinking. Because AD, I think, is just the more versatile and better defender. So,
for sure.
but on offense, it's real tough to think which one's better.
Offense, I'd
'Cause
say
I feel
Embiid
like
got
Embiid
it.
might be
I'd
better
say
than
Embiid
yeah.
got it.
So is
Yeah, I
that
think
gap between their offense smaller than that gap between that defense?
it might be.
Yeah, it might
It
be.
might be. It might be. I'll say. I'll say the gap in defenses. I'll say the gap in defense is bigger, just because AD. I mean, AD was like at some points the best defensive player in the league. So
Oh,
I don't know if I could say Embiid was ever the best offensive player. So I'd probably, yeah, I'd go AD, but it's close. Embiid will get there.
I think Embiid's bag is definitely deep for a big man, but even offensively, as far as what AD brings to the table, I'd have to go AD. He'd have to get the slight
Oh,
edge.
offensively,
Yeah, honestly,
I mean it's close.
it's
I'd
definitely
take
close though. It's
Embiid.
definitely
I'd take
close.
Embiid.
It's just I feel like with AD, he's a little bit more versatile. Like he'll have another big man or another type defender step out on the perimeter to guard him, and he's not that bad of a ball handler either. So it just makes him just that much more dangerous because he can operate outside the key and inside the key.
yeah,
I'd agree with the versatility thing. I would like to see. Now we'll get a full season of Harden and Embiid. I'd like to see if he's doing more stuff on the ball because I mean last year and really the year before. It's a lot of stuff in the post.
True.
yeah,
Just him having the ball backing down people, and I mean it's good. Like he's probably the best in the league at it, but
yeah,
you would like to see him like diversify it a bit. And I
yeah,
think Harden will probably help with that. So we'll
True.
see this year.
Which I think he can do. I definitely think Embiid can do it. So
oh yeah,
Like because even in the 20 however many games they played this year, I mean they were pick and roll wise. I mean they were one
yeah.
of the
That
best in the league. They might have been the
was
best in the league.
damn near.
So
yeah,
seeing that for the whole season, I think you'll see a little bit more of Embiid. Not always backing down guys. He'll be
oh, yeah.
True.
maybe catching lobs. One one dribble layup,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
yeah,
Yeah,
a little less dribbling.
for sure.
Um, anything you guys want to talk about? I don't want to get to my big one last. I mean, too
You have a
early.
big one.
I
Let's
call
see.
some YouTube out. I mean, some
Anybody
TikTok
see
out.
the Madden top 10 running back rankings?
I did.
Oh, I
Running
seen
back.
that popped up, but I
Let's
forgot
look
to
at
take a
them.
look at it.
I
I did.
saw a little bit of it. Let me
Yeah, I
pull
was
that
gonna say,
up.
let me look
The
at them
first
real quick.
couple. Oh, that's the one. Christian McCaffrey.
Thank
Christian, Mc-
you. Thank
Christian
you.
McCaffrey at a
Thank you.
96, right?
96
96.
over Jonathan Taylor. That's
Yeah, over
I can't do
Jonathan
Nah,
that.
Taylor, I don't know.
I
I
can't do
hate
that.
that.
That's
Yeah, I
that's
can't do that.
crazy.
Henry and Chubb, I like their ratings. Yeah, I can't do it. I can't put them.
Wait, why is
Like-
McCaffrey to the top, like the highest one?
Well, he's third, but like
He's tied at 2 with Nick Chubb, which
basically,
Nick Chubb, Derrick
Which is
Henry, and Nick
crazy.
Chubb is 96 from what I'm looking at.
no.
McCaffrey's a
He said
97.
Derrick
Hold on,
Henry's a
hold on,
97.
That's crazy.
Hold on.
Yeah, Henry's a
That's
97.
97.
Chubb
Henry,
and McCaffrey.
96.
That's
Chubb,
crazy.
Yeah, he should be below Taylor. He should be below Cook. He should probably be below Kamara too.
Honestly,
Not
I
gonna
put
lie.
him below Joe.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it. And Joe, I like Joe, but he's
Oh,
kind of
okay,
high
I
at
got the right
93.
one.
93 is a little. Like, I don't think he's better than Alvin Kamara.
And I mean, if we put
but-
Christian McCaffrey that high and acting like he's healthy or whatever,
Yeah,
Not gonna
Ezekiel
lie.
Elliott is 88.
Saquon
I
got
know
to be
he-
above
yeah.
Austin Eckler and Zeke, and he might be
he
above
got-
Aaron Jones too.
He'd be above all
Saquon
those
is
guys
at
you named.
86.
Yeah,
And probably
Saquon got
Joe
to be
Mixon.
at least a 89, if not a 90.
If that.
If
No,
you
if
want to
he-
give Ezekiel Elliott an 88, I
He's
think
better
he's
than
better than
Ezekiel
Zeke.
right now.
Yeah,
He's better than Ezekiel
yeah.
right now. Like, no, they definitely messed up his ranking. They gassed CMC, which they always do. I mean,
They
gassed
always
CMC
That's
too.
crazy.
Yeah, they
That
always
is
gas
crazy.
him.
It's because
Yeah.
his running style is so different than everyone else's. They just give him like a high rating.
And I see
And
why in a
I get it
Madden,
because of what
like,
he does, but
Yeah,
he
I
has to
get
stay
it.
healthy though. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I need a full season.
Like at the beginning of the season, give him maybe like a 90, 92 overall. And if he comes back
That's
and
fine,
doing what
yeah.
he's doing, then that's cool. He can end the season at a 96.
I like that.
if Saquon goes,
Man, always get it wrong, and then they do updates throughout the seasons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Whatever.
but they never added Christian McCaffrey. He always stays the same overall.
Also, I saw the edge rushers. I don't know how TJ Watt is a 96. I just don't get it.
That's
TJ?
crazy to me.
I don't get it.
That's crazy to me too. TJ Watt at 96. Oh my gosh.
Like, if we're doing the single
Well, he should be
season
Noah.
stuff,
He should be lower.
He should
higher.
definitely be higher.
Oh,
Should
okay.
be high. 96. Well, 96 sounds high on a certain, but when you- Miles Garrett a 99,
Exactly. Miles
which
Garrett's
is
a
fine.
99.
I don't care that Miles Garrett's a 99. He
what is-
Exactly. I have
deserves
no
it.
problem with that at all.
What is
No problem.
TJ
Donald?
Watt has to be up there.
Donald,
I don't.
Bro.
He's going to be a 99. I
Yeah.
would assume. I don't know if they came out yet, but
Yeah, I don't think interior rushes came out yet.
no. TJ Watt, that one blew me because
Yeah, that one was
the
crazy.
season he had, like, you give Cooper Kupp a 98 because he had one of the best seasons of all time, which he deserved.
True.
But then you don't. The TJ Watt, I mean, he tied the sack record. He was
The man.
he won Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah. What did he play, like 13 games or something like that?
I think he played 15, but he missed
Something like that.
2 games. He
Yeah.
missed 2 games. He came out of 2. So basically 13 games. and
That's
did that.
crazy.
And got 22.5 sacks.
That's
Like,
crazy.
There's no way you can't give that a 99. I just don't get it. But
That's crazy. That is crazy.
I mean, I didn't agree with the. What's it called? They gave out the speed ratings for the running backs too, and they said Jonathan Taylor was the second fastest running back. And
who
then
was
they
number
said,
1 Mostert, right?
Raheem Mostert.
Which makes sense.
Raheem
Uh,
Mostert's got a 95. Then Taylor's got a 94.
I don't know. I don't
Henry
hate,
are right there with a 93.
I don't hate Taylor being that high. I don't know. I
Mm,
mean, maybe there are faster running backs, but he is pretty fast. Like,
he does have some breakaways, so I can't.
he's definitely fast. I don't know if he's that close to Raheem Mostert though.
No, Raheem Mostert, I like that he's
Raheem
at number
Mostert.
1. He is crazy fast.
I feel like they hate on Raheem Mostert because he gets hurt a lot.
Yeah,
So they feel like that like tampers his speed. But
yeah.
it's a
that's
track
right.
guy, bro. Track guys when they get hurt, it's like muscle memory. After
Exactly.
that,
Oh
it's
yeah,
over.
he's straight. He's gonna be straight.
I was a track guy. I ran track in high school.
Me too.
Track
so
guy.
Mhm.
Well, and college until I tore my hamstring, but that's another story.
Yeah, I pulled my grind muscle.
I feel you, dog. I feel you.
So It's up out of there. You had to get up out of there. But so this dude did this TikTok. He follows us on TikTok. His name is Sports Cartel, I want to say. And he made a video. Yeah, Sports Cartel. He made a video basically saying like LeBron James at his height, his physical size, and blasey blah this and blasey blah that can go to this 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s and dominate the game. And anybody that knows me on this podcast knows that I like to push back with reality. Because if he was to pick LeBron up and drop him into the 60s, his body will go and it will be a 60s body. Like that's what you drop him in the 70s, he's gonna have a 70s body. Like you guys don't understand like how like evolution changed human bodies, the physique of a human body from the 60s to the 70s to the 80s to the 90s, even without sports. Like nobody takes that into consideration. So when you're talking about picking LeBron up and his evolution on game, you have to go back from 2020, 2010, 90, 80, and then he's going to reverse of what he has, and his body's going to transform into the way they nutrition their bodies in that time.
Yeah,
right. Because he can't spend $1 million.
Yeah,
he can't spend $1 million on his body in the
'60s.
The medicine isn't around. Medicine, technology, none of that is around. So when we talk
about
picking, and this is not even just for LeBron. This is for every single player in today's game. Like, dude said, oh, then why do they say players from back in that day can play in this time? I said, because that's a little easier. Because those players will then go through the evolution of the game. They will then go, they will go.
Yeah, they'd evolve just like the game
and
evolved.
the IQ that they already have. Whereas a player today going back in time will lose the IQ of the game they're playing today, and they will be playing the game that they played in the 60s, which is a totally different game. The game in the 70s, which is a totally different game. The game in the 80s.
That is the greatest point I've ever heard.
Totally different game. Like, people don't like to think about that, Sports Cartel. All right. Hi, how are you? Like, you guys like to, and then you want to talk about logic and you don't care about my opinion. Like, I don't care about your opinion. Like, when we're having a debate, saying you don't care about somebody's opinion, debate's done. I won already.
That made you lose the debate already.
I won already.
Yeah,
so I just want to tell you, I won already.
Like,
all right. I just want you to know that I won already. But to sit here and say that, oh, if a guy had his size and his physique and this in that time, he would have been doing this. Well, we could go back and look at guys that were abnormal for the time that they were in and what they did in their time. And how many of those guys, besides dominating the league, has championships? Higher, bigger, taller, stronger than the guys like Michael, Hakeem. Like, Shaq is the only one that you say was big and strong and really dominated the league. Everybody else had a little finesse in them.
That is the greatest point I've ever heard to that argument. Oh my God.
I mean, Jordan had to get bigger to beat people because he
him and Scotty had to bulk up.
Yeah, they had to bulk out and work out just to beat.
You guys are taking LeBron, you're taking KD, you're taking Steph, and you're just dropping them into this era where the stuff that they do now, they will be out of the. Do you know how many free throws they would give the other team for double dribbles, walks, like carries, trap, like.
It will be insane.
You guys don't understand basketball if you think that you can take somebody from today's game and reverse evolution and they're going to go into a 60s, 70s, or 80 game of basketball and think that they're going to dominate the way they dominate today. No, I'm not saying they will be bad in that time. I'm not saying they will be bad at all. But you know what? They won't be dribbling with both their damn hands.
Exactly. You ain't
It still will be a left hand dribbling LeBron.
Yep.
That's what you would see. That's what you would see.
That's the greatest point I've ever heard to that argument.
But no, people don't like to listen because I'm logical, bro. I am very logical when it comes to understanding sports. Like, it's not that hard. Like, it's easy to have your own opinion, but you have to think realistically.
Yeah, you got to think about real life.
And I told him it's dream world. You guys are stuck in dream world where you could just dream up the hot tub time machine or Timmy Turner, the fairy godparents, and I want to go back in time and she give you a scooter and you go backwards on it. Like, no, that's not how it works. Exactly. That is not how it works. And I told the dude in the comments, bro, I don't see Timmy Turner nowhere around here, bro. Like, that's not how life works. Like, I agree. If you were to take some of these guys and you'll put them in the 60s, 70s, 80s, they will figure it out. Like, the greats of today will figure it out back then. They will probably be a top player, but they will not be dominating the game the way they do today.
We won't see him at
LeBron ain't gonna look at the ball and shoot a three.
Yeah.
Like, coach gonna put him on the bench. He going
That
to
is
the
craziest
bench.
move ever. I swear.
I'm glad
I
you brought
don't
up the
understand
stuff
how that
about.
works.
I'm glad you brought up the stuff about the fouls or like the traveling and stuff. Because hey, back then, I mean, they were calling stuff. They were calling a lot of stuff. Like nowadays, they kind of let players get away with certain stuff that 60s guys. I mean,
100%.
they'll see you shuffle the feet with the ball. That's a travel immediately.
Immediate. Oh my god.
I mean, you couldn't even put your hand on the side of the ball, or you get something called on.
Or they'll call it carry. Now John Morant,
Instant carry.
Like,
now John Morant can come out. He can have the ball right here to his damn head.
I'm saying, grab it.
And they won't call anything. It's like,
but that's what I'm saying. That people never take the evolution of the game into consideration. It's just LeBron's just that amazing that you could just put him in that time. He'll still be that amazing. Like, no, what is he going to do with his workout regimen? It's not the same. They don't have the technology for him to put on a breathing match while he's running on a treadmill. That wasn't around back then. All the technology is gone. All the medicine is gone.
All the money's gone.
Is gone. Right.
The
All
money.
the money is gone.
The money
You're not even getting the contracts the way he does.
Can't use $1 million on the summer.
And this is not just LeBron. This is for, and I told the dude that KD, AD, Kawhi, John Wall, Kyrie Irving, no matter who it is, you cannot say you're taking a player from today's game and putting them in the 60s and don't think they're going to go to do a de-evolution. They're going to de-evolutionize and be in that time and be like, yo, I dribble with my left hand. What's up? I block you with this hand.
The rules don't change for them just because they get played.
No, but for a lot of these fans, they do because they live in La La Land.
Yeah,
they live in. They like doing the teleportation. I've always
trying to argue with me about
his body and physique. Man, everybody was abnormal in an era. You can go and find one player that was abnormal in an era, and they still had to compete against other talent and like superstars in the league.
Yeah,
like
I mean, Wilt Chamberlain only got 2 rings, and he was beyond abnormal for a even person
because he ran into Bill and the Celtics. Bird only has 3 rings because he ran into the Showtime Lakers. You feel me? Isaiah Thomas and them only have 2 rings because they was running into you pick them. Bird, the Lakers,
Karl Malone didn't even get a ring because he was running into Jordan.
Like you can have all these abnormal people. Exactly. Like Hakeem got his 2 rings, and it's not a knock against Hakeem when Jordan wasn't 100% in the league. One year he was gone, and he came back half the season. The next year, I believe. Like he was gone for 2 years, so you can't nobody knows the story of it. Jordan stayed there and they figured it out with the team because I know some pieces left Horace Grant in them. Like you don't know what happens in those 2 years, but what I'm saying is there's always an abnormal person in the era. In the 10 years, you can find an abnormal person. Shaq was abnormal. There's nobody like Shaq.
Yeah.
Who else is like Shaq today? That big and can do that on the court? No one.
Nobody else.
Like Joker is going to be abnormal someday. And that's what I always say to you guys. Like when I'm saying I'm taking Joel over Joker, it's because Joker is going to be abnormal. Nobody's going to be able to do what he does on the court. He's going to be that abnormal guy that's just a freak. Like Giannis might be in that conversation too. But I can see guys imitating Giannis's game. It's not that hard to imitate it. It's just be long, Euro step,
go to
dunk the ball.
Exactly.
That's literally it's more not a knocking him. It works.
Yeah, shoot, it does work.
It works.
I mean, Zion's abnormal in the league right now too.
Right, but if you take Giannis and you send him back 40 years, what is he going to look like a player? And he ain't going to be this player.
Yeah.
Y'all get hooked up on that. What is that? Bleachers Report or whoever it is, ESPN's Hot Tub Time Machine little battle thing, like
Bleacher Report, the little
bro. That shit
they did do
that.
That
shit ain't real. Like we can do all the hypothetical as fans, but I'm not gonna get roped up into this. Oh, if you drop Tatum in the 60s, he'll have 10 championships. No, the fuck he would not. He would be just another 60s player. The same guys you guys call plumbers. Like That's what he would be. He would resort to their life. He would be in their life. He would go plumb his motherfucking toilets in the day and play basketball at night. Like, I don't understand you guys. You can't have it both ways. They're plumbers back then, but LeBron could just drop into a plumber's league and not be a plumber.
And spend $1 million on his body when
right, and have he's bringing the technology and all that stuff with him. Like, nah.
Yeah.
$1 million back then. I don't know how much teams were worth, but like
New York
$1 million might have bought a team back then. Like,
right, like
the money just ain't the same.
No cap.
The money just ain't the same. Like, you can't just apply whatever.
Like
you want
Dennis Rodman too, you can say he's an anomaly because nobody who was rebounding like him back in the day. Who was literally rebounding like that dude back in the day? Nobody.
I mean,
nobody. Like, that's what I'm saying. You always have abnormal people that's bigger, stronger, faster. Like, that it doesn't matter. And then he said, you guys are saying LeBron wouldn't survive in that league, but Muggsy Bogues and I forget the other guy survived in the league. Do you know how tough Muggsy Bogues was?
Look, because I was going to say Muggsy wasn't no
like
sucker.
Spud Webb, Muggsy Bogues, like.
Yeah, like Spud, like, do you know how tough those guys were to play in that league? And to succeed in it, to have some success in it?
Exactly.
Like, just because they're short, like, we seen it. You guys are acting like Nate Robinson didn't have success in the league being his short self.
Facts.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's like we forget history of basketball when we want to, just to fit the narrative. And it's like, I hate that type of basketball talk. Then you want to come at me telling me you don't care about my opinion. It's not about, we're having a debate, my boy. Like, the things like, so you're saying that you disagree, that you take those attributes and you put it in that time. I said yes. But how could you disagree with, like, because I do. I just explained to you that you cannot do it. It's not physically possible for you to take a guy from today and put him in the 80s or the 90s and think he's just going to cook. He ain't. What happens when they start hand checking LeBron?
That's the biggest thing for me right there.
Yep, that's what I was. Yeah,
what happens when they set LeBron up in a pick and roll where that man's going to set a hard screen to his back? What happens when LeBron's driving and everybody moves because Bill Lambert's coming to clothesline him? Like, you guys say, like, yeah, it didn't happen all the time. Yeah, it didn't happen all the time. But when you play certain teams, you knew what to expect from them. You wasn't going in there every night those teams brung it. Like, every night. You can't sit here and just be like, oh, because of his body. Like, no, like, it took Jordan to get a bigger body. Exactly. I mean, it took Pippen to get a bigger body to beat the Pistons because they were so physical with those two. Yep. So physical. They beat them up during that game. Beat them up because they knew their bodies wouldn't be able to withstand it. What would you think they would do to any other body that comes in that LeBron stature? What do you think they're going to do? They think they're going to let him dunk the ball?
No, they're going to beat the shit out of him. I always say that.
He getting leg undercutted, all that in the air. They're going to take him out. Like,
I always say that. That's
it's
the first point I go to.
It's a different game. It's a different game. Like, back then, you had real life crackheads playing the game, bro.
Like, he's not lying. He's not lying.
Real life, niggas smoke a rock, niggas get on the court.
Fact of the day. Right there. That's the biggest fact of the day.
That shit is different from today. I understand, like, Lamar Odom wasn't doing it on the court. Them niggas was doing it on the court. Time out, coach.
Man, look, dog.
During halftime, pull it out. Like, oh, for real.
Oh,
hey, yo, Bill, you got it in your bag? I need it hit.
For real.
Nah, you already owe me 300, son.
Oh my God.
He's selling it to his teammates and shit. Like, like, y'all just don't understand it. Sean Kemp is a good one too, New York. Sean Kemp is another one. Great athlete.
Oh yeah.
Crazy athlete.
How much success did he have?
Man.
I mean, you even got players
Patrick
like
Ewing was a great center. For power forward, whatever you want to call him. How much success did he have? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you guys like to just live in La La Land and Fairyland, and I ain't going there. I'm not going to Dragon World. Dragon Tales. I'm not going to Dragon Tales.
Don't sleep on Dragon Tales, man.
That's my show. That's what I said. But I'm not going.
Yeah.
I'm not.
He said, but I'm not going.
I'm not going there.
I don't
This is not, the Fairy Odd Parents where we can wish for any wish. I wish LeBron was in the 60s. and he just dunk on everybody like that's.
Spending $1
Listen,
million on his.
this is not Joanna, man. All right.
I mean, he was a great player, but Kareem was abnormal in the 70s. And
Will-
he didn't do
yeah.
didn't do anything until Magic got there.
He was
Right.
abnormal his whole life.
Yeah,
I mean,
Bro,
he was.
Wilt
They were
literally-
Van Duncan.
Wilt was an extreme
'Cause of
athlete.
I'm saying
I
how
don't-
much success
I don't
they
even
had.
know.
Like,
I don't even know if another athlete. If you really look at the athleticism of Wilt, I don't
Wilt
think
was
somebody.
faster than
I don't think there's
everyone,
really
stronger.
anybody that can really compare to what this guy was doing with his athleticism, because he was
I
doing
know.
other things besides basketball with his
Yep.
athleticism.
mhm.
Yep.
But nobody
Track,
looks at
Olympics.
Wilt's career. Nobody be like, "Oh, Wilt's just this guy who was bigger than everybody else." No, he was a monster.
Mhm.
He was a monster. He
A
didn't win
literal
because
monster.
he didn't win that much success, like playoff rings and stuff like that, because he had a juggernaut in my Boston Celtics. That wasn't just like you. It was not just Bill Russell. Why do you think 8
Yeah,
players on that
exactly.
team are Hall of Famers?
Hello.
8 players on that team became Hall of Famers.
Mm.
Speaking
Why
of Bill
is that?
Russell, I mean, Bill Russell was kind of like a world class athlete himself.
Yeah,
He
but there
wasn't
was
Will,
games in that
but
there
he
was
yeah.
right, but he was not Will. But because of the scheme that they could draw up, they could beat those guys. And every time Wilt lost to Bill, 2 points, 3 points, 2 points, 1 point. Like those were close games. Those guys were battling. Wilt is an abnormal athlete and I don't think Oscar being the first person to average a triple double, he was like what he has done on the floor. It was replicated, by Russell, but I don't think anybody else is going to replicate what those two have done. And especially now with Russ done doing it for 3 seasons in a row.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing for me right there.
But you think if you take Russ and you put him in the 60s that he's going to be able to do that? And no, he's not. Not saying he would be bad. He'd probably be like a John Starks type of player in the 90s.
Even my guy Steph Curry. I mean, is he
Definitely,
able to win
because
those
ain't nobody
rings?
shooting like that. Ain't no,
Exactly.
he,
Look, I was
he,
gonna say,
he is
it's
one of the
nobody
top
shooting like
players that would not translate into back then, because
Mm-mm.
his game is predicated on dribble, shooting.
Exactly.
Confusing
He
you with
based
his
game
moves
off of how
and
this era
shooting.
works,
And he's
ball.
very good at it. He wouldn't be able to do that back in the day. And people say, I heard one dude say about Steph Curry being in that time is that, any coach that have Steph would change their system for him. No, they would not.
Mm-mm.
No,
They would not. And especially in a time where the 3-ball wasn't looked at like that.
Yeah,
Where everybody was
Well,
kicking.
also
like that.
It also just wasn't there. I mean,
Right.
they didn't have
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
either wasn't there or like you had players like Larry Bird not shooting the 3 as much as they could have. Like
Because it had literally, it had just been
Celtics
introduced.
didn't
Like,
change their game plan for him.
Larry Bird, one of the best shooters out. Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
they
up,
didn't
Cartel?
change it.
You're supposed to be the sports cartel, bro. You're supposed to be dangerous. You ain't dangerous to me. You ain't no danger to me. I don't sense no danger. Now you got my full take, so there ain't no words, there ain't no typing, there ain't no none of that. Now you understand me. These fellas do. Like y'all just in the business of La La Lands, like Alice in Wonderland. Let's go down a rabbit hole. Like I'm not going down no rabbit hole with you because the rabbit hole ain't real. Can I fit? No, I can't.
That's quite literally the greatest argument I've heard to that fucking point, though.
I appreciate
I swear to God.
I'm a logical man.
No, it is a good argument. I mean, and you could use it the other way too. I mean, you could be like, hey, Bill Russell. People say Bill Russell get cooked. People say Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, they get cooked in the 2020s. I mean, are they getting what the 2020s players get?
That's exactly what I was
100% they
saying.
are.
Are they getting? If they are,
it's a pushback and it's a go forward. Exactly. That's what it is.
But
old timers come forward. These guys go backwards. And people just don't think about it.
I had the same argument with someone like a week ago talking about Andre Drummond and Mason Plumlee would cook Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain. You might have been there, not just like some dude was really arguing.
If Wilt could go through the evolution, and like I said this about Rasheed Wallace. Like, Rasheed Wallace was like he like averaged 20, I think, once, but I think he was like a 18-point scorer in his career. Or something like that. You think you put Rasheed Wallace and he goes through the evolution of the 2010s, the 15s, and then the 20s. You don't think this guy is out here dropping 20, 25 points a night? Like as
And
a
that's why
key
I think
piece.
what Iggy said makes sense.
Oh, I could be absolutely. I mean, he was a key piece when he played, so so
Exactly.
I mean,
What
in the
And
makes
now
you
he's
say
going
he
to be in
weren't?
a time where he gets to shoot more, pass more,
Mm-hmm.
be out of the paint more, do whatever he feels like doing. He might even be
Exactly.
able to bring the ball up and dribble
oh, he's
it
ahead
Exactly.
like
of his game.
Jokic. Like,
He's
Just
ahead of his
because of
game
how
for
the
sure.
position that he played evolved to basically like a playmaker type position. Now he's ball in his hands coming up the court. He can roll. He can set up the offense, pick and pop type shit. So it's like I understood what Iggy was trying to say because like the way that position has evolved, Rasheed, he might have been a dog in today's time. No
Oh
lie.
no, he'd be a dog. I just didn't
Yeah.
like the Giannis stuff. I was like,
Oh
Iggy,
yeah, no.
I was like,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know.
I
I
was
don't.
like, you
Yeah,
took
he
it a
wouldn't
little
be
bit
better
too
than
Yeah,
far.
nah.
but I just think Iggy meant his bag, like what he would be able to do to score on the court.
Oh yeah.
It would be more than what Giannis could do. He
what
would
he
be
was
better than
able to
Giannis.
do. Yeah.
He'd be able to
Giannis
play
is
center.
expanding his game, but teams are not still scared of Giannis 3.
I mean, he was a power forward back in there. He's probably a center. He's probably a center now, and that's
He
going to
very
open up
well
the floor
could be a
more for
small ball
him. It's going to
center.
open up the
Now
floor
he's
for his
sticking
team.
Karl Anthony Towns and
I think he'd be better than Cat.
like yeah.
Honestly.
He would be in the argument to me with Jokic and Embiid.
Really?
Oh,
No,
definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely. I would definitely put him there.
yeah. Because he gets to go through evolution. He gets
Definitely.
to get all the medicine, all the
I don't know if I
technology.
could put him
And I
that
think
high, but
I think people
I don't know.
Yeah,
As
I
a
don't know
center,
about that.
just
I get
as
the
a
point.
center, just
Well,
as a center.
as a center,
Oh, I
I
dig
mean,
it.
yeah.
Okay.
Jokic
Yeah, I thought
and
you meant
Embiid
just
did
as a
Rasheed.
player. Like,
It's not crazy, no.
No, as a
I
player,
could-
but as a center in his position.
Yeah, like as
I
a
mean,
no,
with-
No,
for
not
sure.
yeah, I
crazy.
mean, at that position, yeah, for
Sure,
sure.
yeah.
I thought you meant you ranked him
100%.
like.
New Yorker. Wallace skill set was not
Especially because
used correctly.
you got to
He
think about
wasn't
what he
used
brought to the field defensively. That's part of the reason why the Pistons won those
because of
years.
him.
Like,
Yeah, him and
that man was cold on defense. Like,
Oh yeah,
Don't sleep on Rasheed. Like you
man,
guys,
I'm
this
trying to tell you.
evolution talk, and I blame somewhat of like the sports heads because like it's like they started this conversation like, oh, you put this guy in this time and this guy in this time, and it's like you keep, and they don't give you the context behind it. They don't tell you all the things you need to know. So then you guys out here, you start thinking the same way. Oh yeah, I could drop LeBron in the 60s and LeBron would kill. Ain't nobody can fight that argument. Look at LeBron. Look at his size. Look how strong he is. Look what he does. He dunks on everybody. Nobody can stop him. Nobody's ever stopped him in his career. And then you put him in the 60s and he's dribbling with his left hand. Like, what happened? What happened to the dominant LeBron? Well, he's only dominant with his left hand.
He's not 260 pounds. He's like
No, because he might still be 260, but he still ain't gonna be able to do what he does on the court now. Then because that's not the game they played.
I don't even know
They
if
just
he'll
make
be
him
260. If he's
That's
260,
why you'll hear people. That's why you hear people preface it now, like, "Oh, if you put him in that time, the way he is, he will kill."
I hope so.
yeah,
It's
but
not
I
real.
hope
Like
so.
Jerry West for
Like-
cooking him. Like I know I'm playing. Jerry West is gonna run circles around that name. Let's stop playing with Jerry West. All right, but
I mean,
no,
if you
like
do the DL evolution thing, I don't think that's crazy.
no, he.
I
Gonna,
don't think his body type would be the same either. Like,
No, his
No,
body
I
say
know.
260.
He would
Oh,
probably
my-
be like a Scotty. He probably would have like a Scotty physique.
Literally.
Which is
Yeah.
good for that
Was
time, but
Scotty
it ain't this LeBron physique.
yeah, it's not
Exactly.
LeBron
That's not
body.
what we
It's not
see
the
LeBron
physique that helped
today.
him dominate the league for as long as he has. And that's all you guys need to. And I get it. People love these players that they assess over these players. You guys are real fans. Like I met Oprah Winfrey one day and just shook her hand and said hi, and that was it. Like I could get her limo and drive off. Like I didn't care that she was famous. Like you guys lose your mind over people getting to a higher level when you guys should be striving to get to your higher level too. Like yeah, respect these guys. Like love them, but don't be going crazy talking about you put him here because you love him so much that he would do this, and don't take in the key facts of what's going to happen to him. He's going to sprain his ankle, and they're just going to wrap it and send him back onto court.
Exactly.
Like that's the medicine that he has to deal with. LeBron's going to be in that time. Like, what are you talking about? You don't got the needles? Oh, we got the steroids. Pump you with steroids.
I mean,
That's what they
LeBron sits out
did.
for muscle cramps.
We've got
do back
we've
then
got
if
the
he
cocaine.
sprains
That's what
it.
they did.
That's
They had the
okay.
needles with the steroids on it. You want a steroid shot? Yeah. And
Yeah.
that was it.
We've
Wrap
got the
it up and
cocaine.
you get
You
back
won't
out
feel
there,
it.
bone broken, snapped in half, and wobbling all over the place. But you out there, Terrell Owens, one leg, and like
Yeah.
Like, but people don't want to think about it. Nah, LeBron be fine. He's longevity, you know. He's never really had a big major injury.
Yeah,
He'll be
exactly.
all right in
Like,
the 70s, 80s, and 90s. No, in the 90s, I'm not taking it. The 90s, it's gonna be real rough for
in the
LeBron to
90s,
win 4
somebody might run him
championships in
over.
the 90s, bro. We saw how hard it was for Jordan to even start winning in the 90s. People always
Took
want
him
to
half
say,
a
and
decade
it's the
almost.
thing too. I wanted to talk about with Jordan too. Is like people look at Jordan and they're like, oh, Jordan when he came in the league, or nobody got off Jordan. Y'all say nobody won off of Jordan, but when Jordan got into the league, Bird and Magic won off of him, and then Hakeem, and then not Hakeem, Bird and Magic, then the Pistons, and then Jordan started winning, then Hakeem won too, and it's like I don't count the '80s when he got into the league because that was already Bird and Magic's league.
Mm.
That wasn't Jordan's league.
Yeah.
That was Bird and Magic's league.
Easily.
That's why I tell you, media don't want to tell you guys facts. That was not Jordan's league. So when you talk about his first 9 years of him losing, yeah, he lost because there was 2 dynasties fighting it out for championships back and forth.
Yep.
Nobody tells you guys that. Nobody wants to sit here and have real conversation with you guys about real sports stuff and tell you like, no, Jordan wasn't winning in the 80s. He was not because there were 2 established dynasties that were destined to meet each other in the finals year after year after year after year, and the Lakers in Boston. That's what it was in the 80s. And then when Bird and Magic got old, that's when, Isaiah Thomas and them had their winning window. They had a short window to win, Isaiah Thomas and them, and they won 2 chips in that window at Jordan's expense. That's the only 2 that I would say that Jordan has to eat. Because then the league was up for grabs. He was one of the best players in the league. It was up for grabs. It was time for him to get his. It's just that team was a dynasty too. The Pistons were a dynasty. Like they knew what they were doing. They were set up to win at the time they were set that they won. It wasn't just coincidence that the Pistons went to 3 finals.
Yep.
It wasn't a coincidence. They were the best team. They were that next dynasty that came up after Boston and LA. And Jordan found a way to beat that dynasty. He found a way to beat that dynasty. The other 2 dynasties, the well-oiled dynasties in the Lakers, he could never find a way to beat them because they've been at it too long. Those guys were at it for 10 years. They've been at it too long. Yeah. So now when you get 92, 93, 94, 95, now Jordan's like, all right, this is my window to win. And he won in his window. And then he left. Hakeem won 2. I'm not putting that on Jordan. He wasn't in the league. He left. He wanted. His father died. He was dealing with some stuff. He went and played baseball. Jordan, you're the best baseball player ever. That sarcastically said. But like he comes back and he resets his window. Like when Jordan came back, he reset the window to win. And he won 3 more times in that window.
Yep, because that was technically supposed to be John Stockton, Karl Malone's window.
Yep. Mm-hmm. He reset his window because if Jordan stays and let's say Hakeem beats him 2 times, that's over for that dynasty. That dynasty came and it's over. Jordan's now 3-2 in the finals.
Yep.
You feel me? But he reset it and was like, all right, I wish we could have seen a Hakeem and Jordan matchup because I still think the Bulls win it.
Oh yeah,
I think Hakeem and the Rockets take 1, at least 1.
I think if Jordan stayed, he's taking.
I say the first one.
Taking both
because they lost Horace Grant.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a problem. They would have had a problem stopping Hakeem. But I think that second year they addressed the problems that they had to stop Hakeem.
Did they have? I don't think they had Rodman yet. Maybe they
Rodman
got
him when Jordan came back.
Yeah. Basically, okay.
Yeah, Rodman came over when Jordan came back. So that I think Ron Harper too, and somebody else, Steve Kerr.
Ron Harper, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they wasn't a part of the original 3, but people they leave details out of these things. That's why I always tell you guys my favorite saying on this show is when you read the book, man, you got to read the whole book. You got to read the whole book. It's a whole book, bro. You can't just skip around and read little bitsy parts of it, or you can't just read the beginning and be like, oh, I know what happened. Like, I used to read books in real life, and the books be so good, I'll skip to the end and read that last page and then still go back to how I was and finish the book. Like, I know what happens, but I'm still going to finish it because there's details in this thing that I'm going to miss if I don't. You have to read the whole book. Tony Coach was dead. Like, you got to read the whole book, man. You got to look at things on a broad spectrum, and you have to understand that there are factors that play a part in every moving piece. And you have to look at all those factors. You can't just pick out what factors you want to build your – like, you can't go to a factory and be like, I want to build a car. but these are the only pieces I want to build the car with. And be like, yeah, make it happen. Like, no, that doesn't happen. You need all of the pieces, the right pieces to build the car and have that car run. So Jordan found a way to survive the dynasty of the Lakers in Boston, then let a new dynasty emerge, which I would say, you know, that was on him. He should have started winning at that time. Him and Scotty were established in the league, because people always look at, you know, I forget what year it was, but Scotty went like 1-10 in a playoff game, like 1-10. Like, so Scotty was still figuring himself out. But once they got past the Pistons, they knew who they were, and there was no stopping the team. There's literally no stopping the team.
Yeah.
No stopping. But yeah, LeBron in the 60s, I don't want to see that. LeBron in the 70s, I don't want to see that. LeBron in the 80s, I don't want to see that. LeBron in the 90s, yeah, I want to see how bad they fuck him up.
That's what I want to see.
I want to see how bad just put him in there with his physique. I want to see how bad because those guys are going to go at him so hard. So hard. They're going to try to kill that man out there, especially Bill Laimbeer. Bill Laimbeer is going for his neck. I'm going to hit him in the jugular every time he come down here. I'm going to chop him in the side of his damn neck. He going to lose a breath or two.
Oakley?
Oakley?
I mean, you don't look that big.
I want to see what LeBron versus the Bad Boy Pistons in their prime. Like, it wasn't called Bad Boys or nothing. Like, I respect LeBron, great for today's league, but don't just think all those guys translate. Like, I'm not saying they would be bad players. Like, LeBron would be a good player in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, but he ain't gonna be nowhere close to the player that he is in the 2000s. Nowhere close. Oh, yeah. No. And that's for everybody in the 2000s, 2010s, 2020s. Like, you telling them they have to go back in time and take all the stuff that they learned from the time that they learned it from. Like, nah, they're not going to be able to do the same things. Like, you won't see a James Harden double step back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, or 90s.
Travel
or the early 2000s, or the 2000s and 10s. That his move, his double step back is relatively new.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's definitely new.
There was problems with it when he started doing it.
Yeah, they were like, what the hell is this?
Yeah. No talks about roles. And
if you take James Harden and you put him back in the 80s, the step back is going to look like just like birds.
A travel.
Just like birds. No, I'm just talking about de-evolutionize. He's going to do that little inch step back that bird did, and that's it.
He'd have to. He can't go on.
He ain't going nowhere. He ain't doing nothing else. That's just it. He ain't doing nothing else. It's nothing else he's doing. Because as soon as he give me the ball. They're just gonna take the ball. I ain't blowing the whistle. Just give me the ball.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're just gonna rip the ball from him as soon as he try to flop. Nope, give me that. We
and the flopping today. Oh my God, I didn't even touch that point.
Literally, the flopping today. You get punched on mid-game.
You getting your ass beat. You flop. As soon as you flop, they like, oh, he don't want to take
punched
the real
on mid-game.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's socking you mid-game. Let's just right in your shit.
Mm-hmm. Remember, Isaiah Thomas walked up to what was old dude's name? Started swinging on him. I forget old boy name. Isaiah Thomas walked up to him and was like, "I'm not playing with you, bro." Like, that's the type of ball these guys today gonna have to play in. They ain't got to play in that type of ball. The closest thing we seen to like 70s, 80s basketball was the Malice in the Palace, and that was just with fans. That, like, the craziness, the intensity of it, that was just with the fans. Like, then the Stewart and LeBron thing, like that, the intensity of what was in the arena, that's like, now imagine getting that every game all night, and you could be bleeding from your eye and nobody holding you back. Like,
I was gonna say, nobody care.
Only Van Gundy. Only Van Gundy will jump on your leg. Most of you people don't even know what I'm talking about. Most of you people don't even know what I'm talking about.
Oh no!
Like,
that is crazy.
Van Gundy getting dragged. Oh,
that was funny.
He held on for dear life, I tell you that. But you guys got anything else you want to talk about?
That was good. I like this conversation. That's good.
Hey, I bring new perspectives. All right. Panic at the Disco. That's a song, New Perspective. But nah, I do, because I always, like, I used to play basketball, bro, and I really wanted to be a baller, bro. And I just did so many stupid things with my body as a young kid. Like, we all do, climb trees, fall out of trees. I jumped out of a second floor window when I was 7, almost broke my foot, but I went to the doctor. They said it wasn't broken, and I just dealt with it. But I was always one of those kids that never really got checked out. And now it's like, Now I'm 30. All of it's hitting me. Like I haven't touched a basketball in like 5 years, bro.
So
And that shit hurts. That shit hurts, bro. Like it's like I could ball. I could
so
ball, bro.
there's actually
That's
because I was watching the I forgot what it's called. I think it's just called The Shop, the
LeBron show. Yeah.
LeBron
Oh
show.
yeah,
I was watching one of them, and they were talking about it was it was one of their oldest ones when they first started, and it was him and Draymond talking in the little barbershop with a
I know
few
which one you're
people,
talking about.
and they
Oh,
were
I'm with
talking
you,
about
bro.
how a few people or there's a lot of people that are in the NBA that don't know how to play basketball.
Oh,
Like
100%.
they don't know how to play
Facts,
the game. They
facts,
don't play
facts.
basketball right. There's
Hmm.
people they were talking about, top tier players that are in All Star games all the time that don't know
But
how
what
to
do you
play
think they
basketball.
mean? What do you think they mean by play basketball?
I mean,
Because you got to
they were
understand
talking
what
about
they mean by play
yeah,
basketball.
maybe playing a team concept.
I mean playing
yeah,
at the highest level to win.
yeah, because they
Most
were
guys don't know how to do that. That means
exactly
sacrificing, not using
yep,
everything in your arsenal. You might have to sit behind somebody.
mm,
You might not. You might not. You can't be the
you
man on the
might not
winning
be able to
team.
take all the
Like
shots.
a
Like,
lot of people don't know how to play basketball, bro.
mm,
When it
I
comes
think
to
AAU
IQ,
ruined that.
oh yeah, one. I
oh
never
yeah,
had the chance to go to AAU, so I can't talk on what
Neither
AAU
did
is
I.
like.
yeah,
But I just seen when that AAU shit, like when it first started to pop up, that's all I heard. Oh,
mm,
we in AAU basketball. We going to Vegas. We going here. We going there. We going there. And when I actually
exactly.
started to go and look and watch these games, it was like one or two players, bro, on every single team that was doing everything everybody just said else to do.
Yep, yep,
You feel me? So like, I think AAU ruined that. Like they gave everybody that kind of like that star mentality type. Oh well, he's our star player, and everybody else is kind of just like role players and shit like that. So when they get to the next level, they find other star players, and they find they really not that good because they don't know how
mm,
to play basketball. Like
It's like schoolball.
No, 100%.
Schoolball and AAU ball is so different.
mm,
literally, they
Even high
just tell them, "Hey,
school,
give him the ball, and
college,
everybody get out the way."
it ain't like
But
that.
it's like that's not basketball. Like you're not.
no,
That's not basketball. But then you get these kids and they come into the NBA and they think, oh, this is what the NBA is like. No, it's not.
yep,
Yeah,
Nah,
like
you about to
nah,
go
it's
sit on
way
the
more
bench behind
complicated than
7
that.
other niggas. Like
Exactly.
exactly. Like,
you ain't getting in the game until there's 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Like
yep,
Like
2K style.
those moves that you was using in AAU, those moves that you was using in high school because you was a senior, you was better than everybody. Like that's not gonna work at the
Oh,
next
you know
level.
better
That's
than
not
no.
gonna
You
work
ain't
at
better than nobody here.
yeah. I
exactly.
mean,
Like
I played on
you're
the
ass
AAU
cap.
team. I played on the AAU team with my old friend back from high school, Keon Brooks. He plays on Kentucky right now. He
Oh,
was
Okay.
and
he
yeah,
was
I've
Shout
he
heard
out
of
was
to
the
him.
Tom
best.
Bricks.
Oh yeah, he was probably he might have been like top 5 best players in the state. He was that
Hmm.
nice, but he was about 6'9". He was bigger than everyone else. He was more athletic. So when he went to AAU, I mean, he was the guy on the team. He was the top dog. He was bigger than everybody. So he was doing it all. He went to Kentucky maybe a year or two ago. Barely got to play. Barely got any PT. Then gets hurt because I mean things happen. He wants taking care of his body. So I mean he found out like because he was that guy back in high school, but when he got to college, he went to Kentucky, found out he wasn't as nice as he thought he was.
Nah, cause that shit do go to your head, bro.
Yep.
I knew what my limitations were. I knew I was a street baller, but I wanted to get, to have better fundamentals. I just didn't have. I didn't have the tools around me. That's not me blaming
Mm.
anybody else.
No,
That's just telling you the truth. Like
yeah,
I didn't have the
sure.
tools around me. Like where I lived at growing up, families that were around me, we all were like struggling to survive.
Oh,
There
yeah,
was no trying to put your kid in a basketball program. You
yeah.
were trying to
No,
keep
sir.
your
He was
kids
trying to
from
survive. He
dying.
was trying to
Yeah, right. You were
eat a
trying to keep
meal.
your kids from dying in the
Yep.
hood. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't no do this and do that. There was no way out. Like it was
Yep.
like we grew up in it, and I'm
Hmm.
technically still here. And it don't bother me no more. But I look
Exactly.
back like I had a former NBA player as as my gym teacher.
Mm.
You think he helped us try to learn fundamentals, play ball, give us some tips to get to where he was? I mean,
Exactly.
he didn't succeed. Sorry, you didn't. You were a gym teacher. Like
I mean, my gym teacher was in the G League too. I mean,
no, he played for the Nickelbackers. This guy. No,
Oh,
he
wow.
played for the
oh,
Nickelbackers. Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah. So He was in the
But
NBA,
yeah,
NBA.
yeah.
So, but he didn't show us a look at anything. You know how many guys I had? This guy, his name was Jamal. I don't know what happened to him. Shout out to him, man. Wish everything worked out for him. But he came from Ghana or somewhere over there. Came from overseas to come here to go to college, but things didn't work out for him. Like couldn't get into college, and he was here for like 5 years. Couldn't get into college. Was playing street ball. Was trying to like hone his game, and he was nice. He was nice. One time I seen him. Next time I didn't. Seen him one more time. He's like, I'm going home, and I was like, damn. He went home. He said, I'm going back overseas to play ball because for some people like that's just your opportunity. Your opportunity ends right there. Like
That's why I hate when people say that, the best people or the NBA's got all the best players at basketball. Like, if you're not in the NBA, you're not better than somebody. Because, I mean, it's really a game of opportunity.
That's
really,
true to an extent because I believe the guys at the end of the bench, will bust almost every D1 nigga's ass that they come across.
Oh, D1, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, D1, but
D1,
I think there's a lot of
RZA, like the YouTube guys, like they're not holding a.
No, but I feel like there's a lot of EuroLeague players that could really hoop on some of those people that are in. Oh the NBA.
But you can't blame the NBA for that either because EuroLeague is a different league. You have a lot more freedom over there. There's no 3 seconds in the paint.
Yeah.
So big men, you can just stand down low. And they starting to get their name with it, so they're paying well. They're not paying NBA contract, but
they're starting to get up a little bit.
Yeah, you can still go over there, win a champion. It's important to a lot of people. Euro basketball has millions of fans, so I don't see no difference. I just see that this American that's overseas. Like you might go to a country and they watch more overseas basketball than American basketball.
Yeah, I was watching an overseas or like international basketball game. I think it was Korea and Japan. That shit was fire. No.
Oh, them Asians could play.
I'm saying, I watched the China team blow someone out by like 100 points.
Yeah, them guys over there can play, but it's like some of them, like with the NBA, it's a certain skill level that they're looking for. Certain people, and some people just don't work out. Like Anthony Bennett, some people just aren't built for the game. Like some people just aren't built for the game. But you get guys like Patrick Beverley. Why can he be so successful in the league? I'm pretty sure there's a lot of guys out there that can produce points at a way higher clip than Patrick Beverley does.
True.
But how many of those guys that you're talking about, Zay, can play defense on a level
basketball?
I mean, yeah.
His IQ goes. That's what LeBron and Draymond meant by a lot of these guys don't know how to play basketball. Patrick Beverley knows how to play basketball. He knows his role. He knows how to play his role very fucking well. Sure. A lot of these guys just want to be in the front. A lot of these guys just want their own team to just be in the front. I want to be the man. I don't care if my team loses. Tatum was like that. In the beginning, Tatum was like that.
Very true. Very true. Very true.
He behind me over there dunking on LeBron. But,
I mean, I kind of still feel like Kyrie Irving is like that. Kyrie is a player in the league like that. Kyrie,
Kyrie probably shows the biggest like excerpts of that right
there. Yeah, exactly.
And people love his game, so they try to emulate
the game, but they don't see.
I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of one of a kind players in today's basketball game that people are going to try to emulate and fail so horribly. I can't wait to see the next passing big. I can't wait to see how that works out.
Yeah.
Troy loves Jokic.
Nah, he's one of the top 5 player in the league. I'm not going to take anything away from the man at all.
Let someone else come in the league and try to do that.
But I just don't think the Nuggets will win a championship playing basketball that way. It's just my opinion.
I definitely don't.
I don't think they're going to win with Jokic as that main point of offense or anything. Playmaking, offense, running the team, calling the plays.
Yeah, not as the number one at all.
Pointing to players to tell them to get in their sets. I don't know. And B doesn't have to do that for his team. You got Maxey. You had Ben when he was playing.
Got Harden.
Now you got Harden. I don't know. I don't think that's going to translate well into the playoffs. And I know G-Baby would tell you, we made it to the Western Conference Finals. We did this, we did that, we did this, we did that. That's great. But when it comes down to the clutch,
yeah,
Luka
he can
Doncic,
get to the playoffs all he wants, but when the playoffs come,
Luka Doncic is probably going to win a championship before the Nuggets win a championship.
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't doubt that. I
I
don't
can
doubt
see
that at all.
that. I can definitely see that.
I definitely don't doubt that.
That's Jokic. You're gonna have to watch Luka win one before you. That's just what it is because they have a system. Mark Cuban knows what it's like to win a championship. He knows what it's like to win. He now has a corner piece that he can hold on to like Dirk Nowitzki. He
Yeah.
just has to find the pieces to go around
Yeah,
him to
find
win a
those
championship.
pieces like Dirk. Yeah.
Same thing with the Bucks, bro. The Bucks
Mm-hmm.
had Giannis. Look at Giannis in first. They knew they had some. They just had to
Mm-hmm.
find the
The
pieces to
right
go around.
players around for sure.
That's why LeBron. We talked about this earlier too. I think it was same dude, Cartel, and I tried to tell him like, oh, you guys say that the LeBron and the KD thing is the same thing. Like, no, I'm not saying it's the same thing. What I'm saying is because it was a video I responded to, dude. I said we would have flack for KD for going to the Warriors, but we won't show that same consistency for LeBron going to a team and bringing
Yeah,
another
bringing all
top
these
five player
players
with him.
with them and
And
all
then
this.
not only did he bring another top five player with him, he rehauled the roster.
Yeah,
True.
just changed up everybody over there.
Literally.
Changes the entire system.
KD went to a team that beat him that won 73-9 teams that lost in a reverse, what we call it in the CDL, which is the Call of Duty, pro league, is reverse sweep. That's when you up 3 and you let the team come back and win, right? Reverse sweep, bang. They were up 3-1. They let the Cavs reverse sweep them, bang. KD goes there. Then it's like, oh, well, they did all this before KD got there. Won a chip. They don't need KD to win another chip, but they just lost a chip. Nobody take that in consideration either, that they just lost a chip, right? But he was saying that it's different, but what people don't realize is KD was able to just right into that system.
Yeah, he fell right into place.
Didn't have to do nothing. And when he left, the only thing that kept Golden State from not being able to compete at a high level was injuries. It's the only thing that stopped them from not being able to compete. Because even though as much as they did need KD for those 2 years, LeBron was done. LeBron was out of there. He was in the Lakers. Now it would be the battle of who gets out the West, the Lakers or Golden State. There was no more having to play him in the finals. You get it? The dynamic of it changed. And people don't understand that. Like, they could have still went on and won championships if they were healthy. Just they needed a third piece. I don't know if Andrew Wiggins could have been that piece then, but they just needed another piece. That's what every team. LeBron literally 3 times, because you can count the Lakers too, has left his team, went to another team, brought a top 5 player at their position with him, and then brought a whole haul of fucking role players.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Heat, you look at the Heat won some games after like 43, 40, 44. They was winning some games after LeBron. But how good were they really?
Yeah.
How much of those wins was just off of culture?
A lot of them, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Not because of personnel, culture.
Yeah.
Like Jay Crowder was there. He wasn't the Jay Crowder he is today, that real knockdown shooter that he is for the Sun. He grew that from Boston and then going to play with the Cavs and LeBron and he grew that to be that type of shooter because he knew he was a journeyman and he knew he wanted to sit down somewhere. But LeBron literally overhauls the team to fit what he needs. And KD, you could just drop him into any system.
Yeah, KD just comes there and hoops.
He's good to go. But we're more outraged at what KD did than LeBron changing a whole roster to win a championship.
Yeah.
So why couldn't he? And I get it, it's Cleveland. Nobody wants to go to Cleveland. It's Golden Cleveland. But why couldn't he do that in Cleveland?
Exactly.
Because then he went back to Cleveland and did the same thing.
Literally.
After Kyrie was there too.
Kyrie was there. He was a top 5 point guard, top 10 point guard, however you want to slice Kyrie as a point guard at that time.
Yep.
Right? Bro, Kevin Love, arguably top 5 power forward in the game right then.
At that point, yes.
He was
been top 3 at that point.
That's what Sport Cartel said to me too. Oh, you talking about Chris Bosh was top 5 as position on a losing team. What does him being top 5 have anything to do with his team success? His team success falls on his teammates and his coach.
I was going to say Chris Bosh on Toronto was definitely top 5.
He might have been top. He was top 3.
Crazy.
No question.
He was top 3 at that position.
Duncan, Dirk, and then
I don't care that LeBron did. I don't want people to think that I care that LeBron did. No, I just want the same consistency for KD and LeBron. Yeah, the circumstances are different. KD went to a 73-9 team that beat him the year before. I get it. But LeBron also was conspiring with his best friend, Dwayne Wade, on who they could get over there to create a big 3 like Boston,
They were
to
trying to get
win
Melo over there
championships.
too.
I was
And
gonna
I'm
say
not
they're trying to
saying
get Melo
They was
too.
trying to get
right.
Melo too.
They were, and I'm not saying Boston was a big three, even though we were a big three. But that wasn't the. I'm not saying Boston was a super team. That was not no damn super team. I'm sorry. We only won one championship at how long we played it. Wasn't no damn super team. All right. That was an attempt at something great, but it came a little bit short because ain't no way in hell Paul Pierce and them guys should just have one championship. But I digress. But yeah, like I just want the same consistency for LeBron leaving and changing franchise. Because what happened to the Cavs when LeBron left it? How good were they?
Went straight back then.
Both times when he left.
Yeah, I was gonna say both times now.
They was in shambles. They had to work their way to a lottery pick to get Kyrie.
Yeah.
Work their way to another lottery pick to get Anthony Bennett and Andrew Wiggins, and then traded both of those pieces away because LeBron went on his way back was like, yeah, I don't want Andrew Wiggins.
Get Kevin Love.
I want get K Love. Like to me, it's the same. It's the same thing. It's just different circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the picture was done by the same painter. It's just two different pictures. That's all.
I agree.
That's all it is to me. That's all it is to me. But you guys got anything else you want to talk about? I'm kind of good with Sports Cartel. I got a couple of TikToks for you coming and see your response. And hopefully, I get you on the show so I can explain it to you to your damn face.
That would be cool.
That would be cool. But anything else, guys?
Good here.
Yeah, no.
Final thoughts?
Final thoughts. Tune in on Friday.
Yes, sir. Tune in on Friday.
I don't know how many people we even got on Friday, bro. I got like 8 people for Friday. I don't know what's going on, but we gonna work it out. We're gonna work it out. Zay, final thoughts?
Final thoughts.
Hey, it's only 3 people in here. Y'all better stay. I got something for you.
All I gotta say is Curry over Shaq and Curry over Wilt.
I wrote a book. I did. I did wrote a book, and these guys just sit here and listen to my book too. I can appreciate that. They were listeners tonight.
I like
that. Yes, sir. Curry over Shaq. We need to start talking about that.
Curry over Shaq.
Yep. He over Shaq.
You should have said this when we still had time.
He over Shaq.
Nah,
so that when we were talking about Philly.
Yeah, he over
right.
Shaq. Y'all not finna put Shaq.
Hey, New York, I just need to know, you buying the book though? It was a good book. You heard Mulich. It was a very good book I put together today. I put together a damn sermon. I was in here preaching. Mulich, final thoughts, man.
Y'all know what it is, man. Follow me, Sports Muru. New page, new TikTok, new me. Turn it on Friday, man. We finna go up.
Yeah, man. Packed house on Friday, man. Also on Friday for you 3 guys in here. Listen, we go live at 6 p.m. Eastern. Okay, I'm doing a giveaway. All right. It's going to be, just something light, $25 PSN or Xbox, live card, whichever one you got. I'm going to drop a random question somewhere on the screen, somewhere in that podcast, and you have to answer it. And it's only 3 people in here, so you guys have the best odds of this. You have to answer it. Troy, the answer is. If you do not write it just like that, I will not count your answer. So, y'all better get it, all right? It's light, but it might be reoccurring. All right? It might come every week. It might come, every 2 weeks. We don't know, but you guys got to stay tuned, man. We appreciate you guys. And I said this before, man. Y'all rock with us. We rock with y'all, man. We're going to keep taking care of y'all. Y'all keep taking care of us.